Welcome. It's day 4 of our boot camp, and I'm like super pumped and also kind of sad to see it going. Um, but it's not the end. I promise. I'll be sharing more about that. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I just need some coffee. I'm freezing. Let me just share with you. Before we get started, so I should say if you're watching the replay, we're about 7 minutes out. So just skip ahead 7 minutes unless you want to hang out with me for a bit. So, um, yesterday I sat outside to do some work, and oh my gosh, the air quality from the fires in Canada is super bad here. I'm in Minnesota and it's hit or miss. Like right now it looks beautiful and fine. But I swear the back of my throat just felt coated with dust. It was just gross. And today I drove into work and came home and I feel the same way just like walking between the buildings. I'm like, "Oh, I hope this weekend is better and I hope everyone's doing better in Canada and just that ends soon because it's just really awful." And I don't even know that I have like sensitive lungs or any of that and like it's bothering me. So, I all I want to do is go out for a run today and I'm like, no. All right. Just gonna make sure we all right, my email went out that we're live and gonna do like a little Instagram post. That we are going live. Hopefully some people will join and find me. What's up? What's up? Getting ready to be, well, I'm live right now. Getting ready and waiting for people to start day 4 of the Organized AF Bootcamp. And we have lots of surprises and fun things. And today we're drawing for the giveaways. It's going to be so much fun. If you can't join live, I will put the link to the replay here. Otherwise, I will see you on. What's up? Getting ready to be. Let's do it. Add some captions. All right, here we go. Here's the replay page. Copy. All right. There we go. Instagram post made. Let's make sure we're live on Facebook. Well, hello. I'm there. So things are good. All right. I'm just going to start talking. We have 4 minutes before we're going to be getting started here. So the Facebook group for this challenge, for this bootcamp has been awesome. It has been such a cool community, I think, for everybody that's participating. People are commenting on the homework posts. They are replying to each other. They are empathizing with each other. So I've loved seeing that. So I, as a leader, what I think is really important is to read the room. And sometimes as a leader or professional, you go into a meeting or you go into the workplace or you go into a situation with a specific thing in mind. You're like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, or this is what my team needs. Like in your mind, you have an idea, right? And then you go talk to them, or you go listen, or you're just present, and you're like, oh, that thing I planned is actually not what they need. So let me kind of explain this. In the Facebook group, I'm hearing people talk about like how they've got so much work, how they're overburdened, how other people on their team have to do it because they're the only, or they have to do all the things because their team members can't do them because they're the only people that know how to do this. And there's just no time to train and all of these things. And that's real, right? So like your perception is your reality. Excuse me. I have like an itchy nose. And I think it's because of this the dust. Anyways. So so I'm like, "Yep, I totally empathize with that. I have been there. I have been in that hole before." And so I kind of perceive this as a bit of burnout, right? And so today, instead of talking through like how to automate and template your work, I'm going to start with talking about burnout. And I'm also doing a friends themed like slides. So I don't know if you've watched Friends, you know, the show Friends, and all the slides are named the one with, or, you know, kind of like the how the shows are named, like the one where, you know what I mean? Hopefully I have some friends, people out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, so I read the room and we're going to talk about why it's so important to notice burnout and to have well-being and focus on well-being for leaders and professionals, and why it's so important to help other people grow, to template your work, to make sure you're doing what's important. And this presentation might pull at your heartstrings because I've kind of written it in a way that kind of hits home. And I've given some of these presentation slides before at conferences, and they always hit really well, emotionally. So we'll see how I get through this presentation. But I think it's really important. So I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do this, but I'll probably do another live or presentation on some of the applications I wanted to talk about, like Asana and OneNote and templating. But we'll see. We'll see where we get today and how this content's received. So if you're watching, say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. If it's your first time here, that's okay. Just say hello. If you've been here for the previous days, let me know so I know that you're back. And I'm excited. Okay, let's get started. It's 4 p.m. It's time to get going. Hello, welcome back to day 4 of Organize AF Bootcamp. I'm pumped to be presenting the last day. Like I said in the intro, as I was getting ready, is like, I'm sad it's ending because it's like, oh, this has been really fun. But it's not ending. There's more coming. So today we have some really fun things to do. It's our last day. So I said I was going to do some giveaways. So I'm going to be giving away a few things today. So let's just do that first. Do you mind if I do the giveaways at the top? Let's do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and find the drawing generator wheel. I'm going to split my screen out so I can see the presentation and my application at the same time. All right. Okay, so this is my random wheel. I have entered everybody's name as many times as they have submitted homework. And then you got double credit for day 1 if you did. You kind of had to answer a prompt and like take the little quiz and tell me what your archetype was. So I have Emily, Brandy, and Melanie have done homework. So this first drawing is going to be for free one-on-one coaching with me for 3 months. So let me just get a notepad out and write. Oh, yeah, it's going a long time. Suspense is real. Brandy, one-on-one coaching. All right, I love it. Congrats, Brandy. So I'll be reaching out to you to let you know how you can redeem your 3 months free. Okay, should we do it again? Let's do so this one was just announced yesterday. The giveaway is going to be for a free to enroll for free in my brand new course that I'll be talking about today called Organize AF University. I'm pumped about this course. It's going to be awesome. Let's draw again and see who wins. Emily. Free enrollment. I'm writing this down to organize a AF University. Great. Okay. I'm so excited for both of you. It's going to be fun. All right. Let me stop sharing that. Okay, I'm pumped. Let me get into the presentation and go ahead and share that with you for today. And oh, one of my streams is having connection issues. Stand by. We're trying to restore the connection. Well, let me try sharing my screen and hopefully it will resolve itself. All right, just getting this all set up so I can see both you and the presentation. Okay, let's go into presenter mode. All right, organized AF. And again, if you are just joining us, let us know you're here. Say hello in the chat and let's get to it. Okay, today we're going to be talking about burnout and automating your processes and reducing decisions and unnecessary stress and fatigue. Kind of a mouthful. So if you skipped ahead and didn't hear the first part, I just wanted to share that the Facebook group for this bootcamp has been amazing. Everybody has been commenting on the homework posts every day, and they've been talking with each other and collaborating and gaining ideas and resources from each other. And I've been so grateful. It's been really fun. I've learned a ton. And last night, there were a ton of conversations about how they feel like they're the only people that can do the work because training takes too long, or they don't want to push that work onto their team because it's going to be too much, or there's just not enough time. And kind of, it was making me think like they're sort of in, and this is no disrespect because I think we all get there sometimes, but sort of in that victim mentality. Right. And so some tough love coming at you today because I think that it can be really easy to stay the same, even if the same is uncomfortable because it's known and changing is hard and it takes different skills. And it could be a longer thing that has to go on and it could be just nuanced. So it sounds like in some of these people's professions or departments, there's a culture of no feedback or maybe not doing things to standard or kind of dumping work on other people or feeling like I have to do everything because we're building something new. And I just want to give you permission to say like, yes, that's totally relevant and real because like I said, your perception is your reality. And at the same time, like I said yesterday, I believe it was, you have control of your destiny. And I truly, truly believe that. And I want you to know that there is another way because I have been in burnout before. I know what it feels like. And there truly, truly is another way. You just have to be open. So let's talk about this. I'm hoping to make this fun, but also it could be a bit emotional because it gets to the heart of why it's so important to focus on our well being. But some housekeeping and a few announcements at the top. So this is the last day. This challenge has been 4 days. I've been here at 4 p.m. Central the last 3 days and now the fourth day today, 5 p.m. Eastern, 45 minutes to an hour on the topic, Q&A after, and then daily action or lesson. There will be homework after today. It will not count towards the giveaway, but that's okay. You can still do it. I just did the giveaway, so if you missed it, Emily, you won the free enrollment to my Organized AF University, and Brandy, you won one-on-one coaching for 3 months for free with me. So I'm super excited about that. So yesterday, I unveiled a brand new project of mine, Organized AF University. It's a new course. So today I said I would share more about it. Do I have another slide on this? No. So here are the lessons. And actually, I'm going to visit this link and show you guys just a little bit more in detail of the course. I want to share with you kind of the details in case you want to check it out as you're listening to me. The page is live, so you can go there and toggle. Looks like I'm having a lot of connection issues today, so hopefully the stream is working for you. All right. Otherwise, I'll have to re-record like I had to do the other day. Okay. So this is Organized AF University. And this is my brand new course. And so to get to it, it's just my website. So it's kfaconsulting.org/organize-af-university-course. I'll put it in the chat for all of you if you want to check it out. All right, so stop spiraling in the day-to-day tasks and start achieving high-impact outcomes at work. Create flow and ease with your work systems without the behind-the-scenes burnout. So I was talking to a lot of you, and I know you feel like on the outside you make it look easy. People are like, "Oh, I don't know how you get so much done," and on the inside you're like, "I'm burnt out AF." Like I'm organized, and I could be more organized. So there's gonna be video lessons for me. Um, Including concepts and software and tech tutorials, as well as lesson worksheets and ready for you templates. And I'm going to be talking more about enrollment in the Manager Mastermind community that I'm setting up. So here's the thing. I've had an awesome time with all of you, and I really don't want the conversation to end. So if you enroll in the course, you're going to be eligible to enroll in the Manager Mastermind community, and I'm going to be offering that for free for a few months to try it out to see how you all like it. So these are the course modules: the proactive success mindset, hero versus host leadership, professional and leader well-being, creating your brand at work, lean thinking concepts, project prioritization and organization, goal setting, leader standard work, proactive communication, onboarding and training, delegation, and employee engagement. This is just a screenshot of what the inside of the modules look like. So I'm hosting this in Teachable. So it will have like the title across the top, the video lesson, and then any downloads or anything like done for you templates will be down here. And then as you go along, you hit complete and continue, and it'll be taken to the next lesson. So, yes, I know a lot of people don't like courses where they don't have the person's face. Yes, my lessons will have my face in them, and then I'll show my screen and all of that. So, you'll see me, and you'll have the Kayla spice. So, don't worry, it's not going to be like dry and weird. Making sure there's no comments. All right. So you fear that you won't be perceived as the expert. If you ask for help or point out gaps in your current processes, you seem like you don't have it together. I teach you how to level up your mindset and visual tools to communicate effectively and proactively. So you appear and feel successful. So the outside and inside are in alignment, like we talked about before. It's not that it just looks like you're okay on the surface and you're kicking your feet out underneath. It's that both feel good. You're the real deal. You're organized AF. And here are the enrollment details. So the special thing to know is that this boot camp special pricing is only ongoing until Saturday, July 1st at 4 p.m. Central. So it's $500 off the full price for the pay in full price. And you can also opt to do a payment plan of $199 3 times. This is $100 more overall than the pay in full option. So just wanted to share that with you. And then here is all the content. So each module includes lessons from me, video lessons, lesson worksheets, and ready for you editable templates. So all the templates that I've been sharing this week, where I'm like, here's leader standard work, and here's like if I talk about a stakeholder contact list, or if I'm like, here's my goal setting worksheet, or here's my roadmap template, I'm going to give those to you to edit, to customize for yourself. So they're ready for you to make your own. Face it till you make it, learn a little, do a little mindset. So each of these modules is has content underneath. So what I talked about before were just the headings, and you can see here's the outline of all the different topics within each of the modules. So you can go ahead on the website and kind of look at all of these. But this course is huge. However, it's each lesson is going to be bite-sized, so you can, like I said, take action, learn a little, and do a little. You are a productivity queen, but at the expense of your well being. So, I'm teaching you how to discern what work will add the most value and how to set and feel good about your work boundaries. You'll crush your goals and prioritize yourself in your own time. You are more than your work, even though you love what you do. To share the enrollment information again and some testimonials that I have from previous people who either worked with me or listened to my videos and podcast episodes. And then again, this is for you and this is very similar to this boot camp. So if you sign up for this boot camp, I'm teaching what I taught this week, but like on steroids. Like I was only able to brush the surface of what I can teach you in this course this week. So yeah, more testimonials. And then just kind of letting you know about the special pricing. This is the full pricing for pay in full and the full pricing for the payment plan. And that starts on July 1st, Saturday at 4 p.m. Central. And then I am closing enrollment on this course July 6th, so a week from today, almost at midnight. And then it'll be closed and then it will be open back in like 3 or 4 months. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. And if you're not ready, you can click here and sign up to be on the wait list. And that will allow you to be notified right away when the course opens again. All right. If you have any questions about the course, and if you're just joining us, let me know in the comments and I will answer them. Say hello if you're just joining us for today. If you haven't heard, we did have some winners for the prizes. Emily has won the, it says my stream is having connection issues again. Hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's not too bad. Emily won the free enrollment into Organized AF University, and Brandy won 3 months of free one-on-one coaching with me. I'm so pumped. So let me get down to the lesson now that I have shared all about the brand new course, and I put the link to that in the chat. Let's see, maybe I'll quick add it to the Facebook group because I don't think I can post in Facebook through Restream. And also, if you go to my website, it's just kfaconsulting.org. There's a banner on top with a link to the course. So it's easy for you to find it if for some reason you're missing this link. And if you're new and you haven't been here before, let me know in the chat and I'll send you the link so you can get on the list where I send the replay emails out. That way you can reply to me there, or the link for the course will be there as well. All right, let me go ahead and add this in the Facebook group. And I see I have a person joining as well. So much fun. All right, here we go. Hello, live Kayla on Facebook. All right, let's get the lesson teed back up here so we can begin the lesson. All right, here we go. Facebook was just kind of slow. Here's the link to the course in the Facebook group. Boom. All right, cool. All right, let's get this all lined back up. All right. All right, so summary for day 1. You all know what we've talked about already. Outcomes first, lean thinking, easier, better, faster, cheaper. Knowing your spirit of your role and your brand at work. Day 2, we talked about making work visible and A3 thinking. So current state, future ideal state, and closing that gap. That's the problem-solving mindset you want to have. And really, when you're thinking about countermeasures, not just jumping into solutions, but really trying to understand what's the true gap. Living in that important, high impact, and not urgent house is the proactive way to live, not living in fires in the urgent important section all the time. Then thinking about templating your organizing your projects and how inflow of work comes, prioritizing it in a roadmap, and communication tools like dashboards to share what you're doing to your leaders, and SBAR for situation background assessment reminder. Yesterday, we talked about what you focus on grows. We also talked about the leader zones of control to help you understand your scope of work and define your leader standard work. And then we talked through how all these things are connected, from managing your inputs, and which can come from projects, strategic goals, priorities, to-do lists, ideas, putting them on your leader standard work. So what is your day-to-day like? And using your calendar and your leader standard work together so that you're reflecting what a real day is like, assessing if it's too if you need to level load, if it's too heavy on one day, not heavy enough, and making sure you're working on those priority items like strategic goals, the things that truly add value and matter. Because when you do that, you are like her. She's confident, she's proactive, she knows what's up, she's organized AF. You will have a better rating and review at your performance review. You will have more peace of mind and you'll make more money. It's going to feel good. And then we also talked about the TEST, or the test method for successful delegation: teachable, excited, strength, and try or willing to. All right, so we've done all of those things. And today we're talking about automating your processes, reducing decisions, unnecessary stress, and fatigue. But truly, I read the room in that Facebook group. We're going to be talking a lot about burnout today. All right, so why do we feel burnout? And I love asking this question because it's kind of a state of mind. And I think we've started to use that word a lot more probably since the pandemic, because it's like almost like mental overload. So oftentimes I feel like I see professionals and leaders saying they're burned out when they feel like they're spinning their wheels and not making progress at work. They maybe feel like they don't have control over their situation, over their work. They kind of feel helpless. It can be that they feel high levels of stress or extremes of activity. So maybe like they are just feel like they're running and running and running in their work, and they're never able to sort of like level load or rest. They feel like they have too much work and not enough time, that they're constantly putting out fires and they can never catch up. Sometimes people will say, I feel so burnt out because I'm trying to guess what's expected of me and I have no idea. Or the expectations keep changing and I don't think I'm doing a good job. They may feel undervalued because they feel like they're doing too much. Maybe they need to be paid more. Maybe they're not getting recognition from their leader or their team. Or they feel like they're giving to their team members, but they're not getting much back. They might feel like their input isn't being heard, and so therefore they feel unheard, or that their input doesn't matter. Maybe they have lack of social support, or no friends at work, or family is tough. What else can you think of? Put that in the chat. Why do you think you or we feel burnout? I'm curious. So what does burnout feel like? And so I did some research. I don't know if any of you are like 90s kids, but I am. And we had this toy called Stretch Armstrong. And I always say that when I'm feeling burnt out, it's usually because I feel like I'm stretched too thin. And that's a good indicator to me that, okay, you're doing too much. You need to delegate or decide what's most important. So sometimes we can be hyper focused or hypo focused and still feel burnt out. So hyper focused burnt out kind of looks like addicted to work, constantly checking email, maybe you're spread too thin, and maybe you feel anxious about the day. So it's like maybe kind of out of a place of fear or like a want to control the situation. So you're just like working as hard as you can, working long hours. You're like in your inbox, you're like, what's coming in? I need to know what's in there. And you're feeling like you're doing a ton of things, but you're not accomplishing a lot. And maybe you're just like constantly thinking about the day and replaying the day. Hypo focused burnout can feel like you've got a foggy brain. Maybe you feel constantly drained. Maybe you have to push yourself to work versus being like drawn to your work or pulled towards your work. And you might feel stuck. You might feel like, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't even get started. Burnout can also lead to insomnia, sadness, angriness, and irritability. And actually, a lot of the research I did, and I should have cited it, came from the WHO and the World Health Organization. And I didn't have it in here, but I will say that they did categorize burnout as a real health issue in the workplace back in like 2019, I believe. So, what does burnout sound like? It can sound like sarcasm, cynicism, snarkiness. Maybe you're more impatient with people and you're snapping at others. Or maybe you've had somebody snap at you and you're like, whoa, I hope they're okay. Hopelessness. Or people might say something like, I'm so burnt out, I'm so tired, or I can't even sleep, or I'm always getting sick, or I can't seem to get focused. And I wanted to share a brief story here. So this little picture is it's one of those memes, and it's like the dog that's sitting and he's just having his coffee and everything's cool. And like the world's burning around him. And the caption says, blood bank after safe trace. So I had after one of our computer systems, also known as Safe Trace, went live last year or 2 years ago, we really struggle with it in my department. And it got to the point where people were so cynical about trying to fix it, and there was lots of sarcasm. And I think at first people leaned into humor to help with that, but over time it became less and less funny. And somebody actually posted this picture up in the blood bank along with some other pictures that I ended up taking down because I felt like that wasn't good for our culture. And but I did take a note of it that it was a reflection that my team was really burned out. So we tried to dig in to help and see what could we do to make each day easier for our people. And we really tracked each day like green or red, was today a good day or today a bad day, and why. So just start to notice as a leader and professional, if you're running a department or leading a team, you want to listen for these sounds of burnout or maybe what people are not saying that they'd normally say. In Organized AF University, one of my lessons is about what a proactive and healthy team sounds like. And a lot of times, if you hear laughter in your department, that's a huge sign. That's a good sign that things are going well, that people are comfortable enough to just hang out and have camaraderie. When you have silentness, nobody speaking up, there are no ideas being shared. When there's sarcasm, that's a burnout team. So why is burnout so important to address? Well, for obvious reasons, it can lead to substance abuse, things like heart disease, so high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, vulnerability to illness. There's studies that say increased stress levels mean higher cortisol levels in our body, which is not good for our health. But also in the workplace, burnout can lead to higher turnover, which means people leave your organization, which can kind of be a cyclical thing. Like if people stay and more people leave, if some people stay and more people leave, then you have less people to do that same amount of work. And that's when those folks get burned out. You'll have decreased employee engagement. Like I said, people will stop putting forth ideas. They're not excited to solve problems. They're cynical. And you may have increased errors or safety events. So maybe more mistakes because people are not able to pay as good of attention because they're spread too thin or they're tired. So what can we do? I just want to say, like, I'm not a physician, but I want to share that this is real for professionals when we talk about well-being. And so you should consider talking to a doctor or a mental health provider if you're experiencing this at work. And I just wanted to make note that oftentimes workplaces will have free resources like the employee assistance program. So I just want to let you know, like, I've totally taken advantage of this and I want to give you permission to do so too. Somebody said in the comments in Facebook that they were happy that I was showing up vulnerable this week because it shows that you can be successful and vulnerable at the same time and like an imperfect human. So I just wanted to share this with you. I was feeling really stressed out about my role as a manager. I don't know, a year ago maybe, and I reached out to the employee assistance program and I was able to talk for an hour with one of their free counselors. It was the best thing I've ever done. She just reflected to me kind of how I was feeling and asked me some questions and gave me some next steps. And honestly, she was like, "You're on the right track, just keep going." And just hearing from an outside perspective, someone that wasn't my leader, someone that wasn't my husband, right? Like somebody from the outside to hear my story and then to validate me, like felt so good. So just want to give you permission to do that if you need to. But also talk with your leader. I always say, like, as a manager, I'm definitely not a therapist, but a lot of times I'm coaching people on like the next steps. And that's just sort of like asking them questions and helping them get through a situation, whether that's work usually, but sometimes it's home. And I'm like, hey, I think you need to seek help, or here's how I can help you balance work and home. Reach out to friends, loved ones, the assistance program. Find something relaxing to do. Physical activity is also good. It gets you kind of out of your mind and into your body, if that makes sense. Sometimes as professionals, we're like always up here. And we just need to like get our wiggles out, like my kids always say. Try to get good sleep. If you are a habit of staying up late and sort of like doing that, what do they call it? Like revenge scrolling, where you're like, I didn't have time for me today, so I'm just gonna stay on Instagram or be online and scroll until I'm too tired and then I can't sleep, right? Just be mindful of that and be open-minded about different solutions and maybe try practicing mindfulness. I love the Calm app. I love it, and I use it just for rain sounds. When I'm working, sometimes people think I'm listening to music because I have my headphones in, but a lot of times I'm just listening to rain. All right, here's where it can get emotional. So I want to talk to you about values as a leader, as a professional, and as a human. I once heard this quote, I don't know where, but it's not a work and home life. It's one life. And actually, it might have been from the book Joy of Missing Out, because that's where I actually have the next slides from. Um, so these are just a list of values. So I want you to look and think like which one of these stand out as really important to you, right? So if I had to pick a few, like just looking at the first list, I really value creativity and freedom and innovation, growth. I love the idea of health and peace, makes me feel good. Um, Vision, like, so you just think about some of these things that stand out to you. It's not a work life and a home life, it's one life. And that's what I was trying to say the other day in one of my previous talks is that, you know, we try to compartmentalize ourselves, or we're maybe taught that's what we should do. But you don't stop being a human with a full life when you walk through the door of work or when you sign onto your laptop. So I want to empower you to remember what you value and know that those values should be really similar or the same, whether it's home or work. And let's go through some situations. And I really want to, actually, before that, I want to kind of make a big statement to you and kind of show you this visual. So keep these values in mind. So this is from the book Joy of Missing Out by Tanya Dalton, I believe. So she talks about 100 years of you. So these are 100 hexagons that I've drawn out. And she does something similar like this in the book. So I filled this in, 32 of my hexagons. That's how old I am. So if I were to live to 100, I've already used up 32 of my hexagons, and I actually turned 33 in August. So almost 33 of those will be filled. Wow. Like it's a third gone. So we don't have unlimited time on this earth, no matter what you believe. So we want to make the most of it. You want to make the most of your time here and use it wisely into your values. Tanya also reminds us in the book that if you have children, you usually get about 18 summers with them before they go off to college or start living on their own potentially. And that is so limited. You look at that and it's like a fifth of the time. So I did this for my own self, and my daughter will be 5 this summer, and I get 18 years with her, hopefully, for summers, right? And I checked the boxes there. She's done with 4 of those, and she'll be 5 in August as well. So, like, that's, a third of the way, which is crazy to me. So it really reminds you when you put it in a visual like this, we need to spend our time in the best possible way that we can and not take that for granted, working on things that don't matter and living in a place where we're unhappy or burnt out because it's easier to stay that way. There's another way to do this. So I want us to question some workplace norms that lead to burnout and also prevent us from teaching others, from growing others, and from maybe living our best selves by setting boundaries or working smarter and not harder. And this is these are pictures of my husband and I. So just thinking about questioning norms. So I'll just tell you a story about myself. We had our daughter, and it was easy to get pregnant with her and no issues. But I had 2 ectopic pregnancies after that, where the pregnancy was in the fallopian tubes. And those pregnancies had to be terminated so that my tubes didn't burst and so that I didn't die. And so that was a huge, huge struggle. And after the second time, I know my doctor was like, have you considered IVF or in vitro fertilization? And I was like, I thought that was just for people who couldn't get pregnant. And she's like, yeah, but it's also for people where if the pregnancy doesn't go in the right spot, we could put it there for you. So it could be your husband's sperm and your egg, and put them there and put them in the right spot, and it'll all be good. And I was like, I hadn't even thought of it that way. And so just like made me think about this situation for work is that sometimes there are solutions already exist, but you're not able to see them because of the frame of mind you're in. And also because I love Friends, I wanted to use the Friends, the one where theme. And these are real pictures of New York. So this is like supposed to be like the the cafe where they're at, the building where they lived, all of that, right? And that's where we went to have IVF done. So in New York. So I just thought it was fun. So let's get on with the show. So here's the first workplace norm we want to question today. The one where I need to fix everything. So this if you have this mindset that I am the only person that can fix everything, I need to have control and fix everything. We need to talk about hero versus host leadership. So hero leadership is where the leader or professional feels like they have to fix everything. They have to swoop in and save the day every single time. And there are definitely times when leaders need to do that. But I would say most oftentimes, I'd rather have a host leader who is there to be like, here, let me teach you how to fish. I'm not going to save you every time because that prevents you from growing, but I am going to be there to support you, provide you with resources, and help you get the job done. When you are a hero leader, first, it feels really good because you get a pat on the back for helping people and saving the day. But then over time, you do that over and over and over, and you become more exhausted, tired, and resentful. And you've trained people to think that only you can do the work and that you'll swoop in and save the day. So when there's a problem, instead of them figuring things out for themselves or problem solving, they call you and say, Kayla will just do it. And you start to hate the thing that you once loved. We don't want you to burn out and feel like you have to save the day every time. You need to be a host, not a leader, not a hero. Definitely a leader. You want to be a host, not a hero leader. Asking for help means I failed. Absolutely not. Failure actually stands for first attempt at learning. So I feel like it's okay to fail. And actually, the best innovators out there fail really quickly. Google talks about this, where they really pride themselves at failing fast so they can be more innovative. So asking for help doesn't mean you failed. It means you're situationally aware, you're being proactive, and you're identifying the issues. Delegating is lazy. Delegating is not lazy. Delegating takes work, it takes effort, it takes investment in people. However, it'll help you in so many returns. Delegating only gets a bad rap when people push off work they just don't feel like doing or want to do because they know somebody else will do it, or they'll just brush it off. That's not what delegating's for. Delegating should be used for growth and to ensure that proper work at the appropriate skill level is given to the appropriate person. I can't ask people to do more is also a myth that I would really like to bust. People want to feel in control and needed. So if you create a culture in your workplace where you do not ask people to own something or have a specific duty that they do or delegate, they're going to feel like they lack control of their situation. Like everything else is in the leader's control. So I would just, push back a bit and say, what if you talked with people and said, I want you to own this. I want, here's kind of the outcome I'm looking for, but I'm flexible how we get there. And why don't you check in with me throughout the process to make sure you're on the right track? That way you don't do the whole thing, get to the end, and I'm like, oh, that's wrong, right? But I give you feedback. But what would you do in this situation? That is so empowering when you're a host leader, you're linking arms with them and you're there to show up and help them do the right thing, right? And then, so we talked about values. So the values check. We talked about values a few slides over, and we talked about how our time here is limited. If you get 100 years of you, you're lucky, right? So a third of my years are gone. And I don't want to spend them in burnout. So do I value work and being here late and swooping in to save the day and resentment over growth as my value? Do I value work over impact, or do I value work over over teamwork? I don't think so. I think I value growth. I value impact. I value teamwork. I didn't explicitly read this bullet point, but we talked about it throughout the last few days, is the tie your own shoes story. So my kindergarten teacher told us that after winter break, we'd have to tie our own shoes because she'd forget how to do it. And what she was really doing is helping us grow and learn so that we could be self-sufficient. Imagine if we never learned to tie our own shoes. Like, you'd either have to wear slip-ons all the time or you'd legit really struggle. So by you not helping other people grow, you're going to perpetuate your own fires and you're going to perpetuate your own hero leadership and your own burnout. All right. The one where I stay late every day, leaving evening shift and seeing my boss. So I'll just tell this quick story. When I first started, I worked nights and evenings at the hospital, and my boss used to be there at 11 o'clock p.m. And I know she started at 7:30 in the morning. And this lady, by the way, taught me almost everything I knew, and I absolutely love her. But she's probably close to 70 years old now. So maybe 10 years ago, she was 60 something. So honestly, it made me sad because it's like, I always wondered, why does she have to work so late? And it really made me not want her job. And I want you to remember, as a leader, people are looking up to you and you want to set the example that other people can do awesome work without burning to the ground. You'll remember my story from the other day when I talked about how when I first started my journey in leadership, I stayed super late to validate these equipment. They're called visions. And my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, was like, "Don't you even love me? Don't you even want to be with me? Why don't you never come home? Your actions say otherwise, right?" I'm like, "I love you so much." He's like, "But you don't come home." So I was saying one thing and my actions were saying another thing. So busted. When you stay late, you're less productive, more tired, more scattered, less focused, not organized, no plan, and no priorities. Do I value work over myself? Do I value work over family and friends? Absolutely not. Time off is bad. The one where time off is bad. I can never take a vacation or a day off. There's never time. Have you ever said, "They can't survive without me," or "I hate coming back to a pile of work"? Scarcity mindset around saving days. So maybe you're like, "Oh, I need to save those days for some other time." So busted. If you don't think you can take a day off, you probably need a day off. And it's so funny when you're the one working and the other person's out of the office, a week can go really quickly. And you'll maybe that person will come back to work and they'll be like, "Oh my God, what did I miss?" And you're like, "Honestly, not really, not much. Like, that was quick. I'm glad you're back, but you didn't miss anything." More often than not, that's how it goes. You got to take care of you so you can take care of other people. You can't pour from an empty cup. And that also means that you don't just fill up your cup once, you have to continue to fill it up so you can keep pouring. So delegation and communication is key. So taking time off is a good thing. Do I value work over rest, or do I value work over experiences, travel, freedom? Definitely not. The one where I have FOMO. So what if I'm not there if something happens, or I need to know it's in my inbox at all times? Where the leader can never take a day off or stop checking their email. So I don't know about you, but when I first started as well, I thought I needed to be logged in to my email. And not really because anybody said I did, but just because I was really fearful that I'd walk in the next day and not know what was going on. But then I was like, wait a minute. If something's really that important, they're not going to email me. They're going to call me. And so I stopped checking my email. The work and the people are going to carry on without you. That's okay. And guess what? You're replaceable, and you absolutely want to be, because that means if you're replaceable, you can move on to better things, different things. Other people can have opportunities. It's not personal. It's just business, even if you love what you do. And this creates unnecessary anxiety, the constant checking, the constant dopamine hit we get when we click on an email. So values check. Do we value work over trust that other people can get stuff done, or work over resourcefulness of others? Definitely not. Okay, I think we have two more of these. So the one where I have to play small. So for example, I see where people they aren't able to fully show up as themselves because maybe it's not psychologically safe. And it could be for reasons like ageism, racism, sexism, or maybe the want to be likable, or maybe the way that you dress isn't accepted in your corporate leadership workplace. But I just want you to know that your you-ness is your superpower. You are an example and give permission to others to be who they want to be and be who they are. You don't have to tolerate being treated that way. And just know if you are a people pleaser like me, not everybody is going to like you. So I have two examples. One was when I first started, like I told you, I was 25 in my leadership role, and I was so self conscious about it. Not because I didn't think I was competent, but because people commented on my age all the time. They'd say, "Oh, you're so young. Do you even have, that the experience?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have the experience, obviously, but I have the will to learn and I'm excited, and that makes me good for this job. And if I'm the first, then I'm okay with that." The other example I'll give is the way I dressed. So, this actually, I'll give credit to my boss. She, I feel like, likes trends and will wear bold colors and things like that. And I noticed that I had kind of a closet of black clothes, which is odd because you know me, I'm like bright, colorful, fun Kayla. And I was like, why am I wearing black and neutrals? Like, this is not me. And seeing her be fun and a previous boss as well, she would wear like eclectic jewelry. I was like, that's amazing. I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to wear what I want to wear. And I totally value self expression. And so, do I value work over diversity or expression or truth? Absolutely not. I value all those things. All right, last thing is the one where I have to do things the same. Another myth to bust for leadership. This is the current system. This is how we've always done it. I didn't know there was another way. Busted. You can take a new approach. There's more than one right way. So, the example of this is Legos versus Play Doh. If you ask somebody to build something with Legos, all the pieces only fit together a certain place, but you can probably make something cool. Same thing with Play Doh, though, except it's more moldable. And you can make something out of Play Doh you can pretty much make anything out of Play Doh. So, just think about like how flexible are you being or how rigid are you being? And then listen and observe. If the thing that you are doing currently doesn't feel right or fit, pivot. Like today, I was going to talk more about systems and templating. And I was like, you know what? I need to talk about burnout first and these norms first before we can do that. So, values check. Do you value work over being innovative or having excellence or a vision? No. All right. So, 45 minutes on the dot here. So, what burnout norm are you going to start to question today? That's your homework. And which one are you going to think about making progress on? So, just to kind of look back, doing things the same, playing small, having FOMO, not taking time off, staying late every day, needing to fix everything, or being the hero leader. I believe that was the last one. All right. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here the last 4 days. It has been my pleasure to host this boot camp, and I hope you've gotten a ton of free value out of this week. I've talked about so many things this week. I can't even believe it. It's been really fun making the slides, and I've just been really overjoyed hearing everything in the Facebook group. And I'm just really pumped to be able to offer organized AF University. So remember, the link is in the chat, whether it's in Facebook or YouTube. If there are any other questions, I'll be taking them right now. So we're at the end. The reminders, you can submit the homework, but it won't count towards the giveaways because Emily already won the Organized U AF University course, and Brandy won one-on-one coaching with me for 3 months for free. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat now. And I'll go ahead and quickly remind you about some of the important deadlines for the Organized AF University course. Let me share my screen and pull that up really quickly for you. There we go. All right. So Organize AF University. And again, it's my website, kfaconsulting.org/organize-af-university-course. And there's a little banner on the top of my website. So you'll be able to click there if you go to kfaconsulting.org. Stop spiraling in the day-to-day tasks, start achieving and high impact outcomes and work. So again, it's in Teachable. It will look like this. These are the course modules, and they are the proactive success mindset, hero versus host leadership, professional and leader well-being, creating your brand at work, lean thinking concepts, project prioritization and organization, goal setting, leader standard work, proactive communication, onboarding and training, delegation, and employee engagement. And then below, you will see the how to enroll in the course, as well as all of the modules outlined with all the content. I think that's what I called it. All the content. Each module has video lessons from me, lesson worksheets, and ready for you editable templates. Base it till you make it, learn a little, do a little mindset. So all these modules have bite-sized lessons so that you can learn a little bit and then take action on it. And it's something I didn't mention earlier. And if you're just joining me, say hello. We're done with the lesson. We're just talking about Organize AF University. Because I'm learning from this boot camp, I decided to drip this course out week over week. So today, if you purchase the course, or if you purchase it before it stops being enrolling by the 6th, then the course will actually go live after the week of the 4th of July. So the course actually will drip its first lesson on July 10th. And my goal is to get you a few lessons at a time so that you can kind of binge. And like I said, learn a little and do a little. And that's how I'm rolling this out, since this is the first time it's being offered, because like I said, I'm taking all the feedback I've gotten from this week's boot camp and incorporating it into the content. So if you look at the content and the copy on this page, I mean, it's literally tied to so many of the issues that everyone has shared with me, to make it the most value added and impactful course that I can. And I really want to help you discern what work adds the most value to help you crush your goals, prioritize yourself, enjoy the work that you do, and not feel like you're spinning your wheels or drowning in all the things. So the price right now, the boot camp special until Saturday, July 1st at 4 p.m. Central is $497. So it's $500 off for pay in full. Or you can enroll in a payment plan to make 3 payments of $199. And you save $100 today if you do that. So that pricing goes until Saturday at 4 p.m. Otherwise, I have it here at the bottom. The boot camp pricing ends at 4 p.m. on the 1st, and the full pricing of $997 pay in full, or $1,097, or 4 times $274 for the payment plan. And that starts on July 1st at 4:01 p.m. Central, and the course will close enrollment on Thursday, July 6th around midnight. And then we'll have this course closed. I will get feedback from people who take it as the content is dripped out. And then we'll open it up in a few months. I haven't decided yet. If you're not ready for some reason, but you want to know when it opens again, you can click this box here and you'll be notified when the course opens next time. All right. Any other questions before I end for today? For the last time. And if you missed it at the beginning, I kind of talked about why I talked on today's topic today, and I haven't decided, but I may go live again talking through some of the templating and the apps that I love to use for my for delegating and succession planning and planning for maternity leave and things like that to help you prepare for life when life happens. All right, everybody, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the support and having everybody join and watch the lessons. If you're watching the replay, let me know watching the replay. And if you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that. And I will see you in the next challenge at some point. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.